This is right after the last video, back to back. Here's his entrance. Oh, of course it wasn't charging. I gotta check constantly. Slipknot? Oh, goodness gracious. I gotta skip it because the video is gonna go down for copyright. Before I forget. The only one I've ever really heard that really sticks out. Like the chorus or whatever, specifically. Don't use finishing moves, I can do that. I like spamming, but I think him generally fighting different, but my charisma's not even that high. That part, the chorus is not. Really make me want to drop kick. Simple enough. Gotta be getting close to the main roster here. Maybe one more net. I want to move with that money. I might switch up his moveset and, like, at some point, make it a little more interesting moveset, because it's really just, like, you know, back elbow punches, you know, headlock takeover, system it down, toxicity. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this one's gonna be hard. I have no counter power. I mean, it's not very good. He does. Alright, buddy. And this is why I rose my speed. Go for the track. That sucks. What happens when your counter comes so low? I don't rely on a freaking danger move. Reality. I fell for that one. See how fast he is to get counters. Finally, getting somewhere. You felt the stunner before. Back to the game convenience store. That was a great segment. That's crazy, he's not even close to danger. I hate that. Yep. I'm gonna have to rematch this one. On the rope, on the rope! Get away, get away, get away, get away! Screw you! I don't know this stuff, I'm skipping it. What the heck? Don't get right back up, you pain in the butt. Now I should be called up. Red pick. Andre the Giant. Get up to 200 now. It's tedious. You do all that and you can finally unlock some stuff. Sunday Night Heat. Okay, so I'll wrestle against the main people. Okay. Boring. Freaking speed button. He's whining about the dang dancers on the, what was it, the Raw Underground. Destroy the whole Raw Underground. That, him and the Wonder Blaze, Medusa. Yeah, beat him up, beat him. Beat him good. Beat him with your freaking head. Of course you're gonna count him. Freaking push grabber. I only got to put an extra pinch on. I was gonna cut, I ended up not. Trying to get to my finish. Boring! Of course, I knew you were going to do that. Alright, hi loser. Badass. Good ass songs. The Catalyst, that's it. I can try that fight. Oh, Venus. Tag out? Heck, I hate wrestling. Why are you coming after me? I tagged out! I tagged out! Quit following me! These guys are dressed in the same outfit, okay. Well, Big Dragon was part of Evolution. Triple H, yeah, wouldn't have it. Why don't you get back up when I'm wrong? Don't keep beating me. Sleep in the dome. That's right, you be good. You go to your corner. Kinda hate that cutscene. How it does that, forces it every time. Hello.
Have you ever wanted to...
No. Would you stop with your freaking AI garbage? I'm sick of hearing it. Oh, there we go. Where's the ref now? I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, whoops. I can finish it, Melvinus. That should be a good finisher, but really, you can't finish for crap. But yeah, I love that their AI partners, they always have to use finishers to win. Makes sense, but... Going for the tag. Yeah, take it, spear. Forward. Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks, like the rugged Colorado, the highly capable Silverado 1500, the powerful Silverado HD, and the uncompromising Silverado EV.
Flankton made a Lingus AI. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. I don't start that too much because, like, I'm using control. Got a counter? I do air submission. Quick minute.
It's not too late to outgrow the family hairline. Through him, you can break the cycle and get the thicker, fuller hair of your dreams. Get it started. Our range of personalized treatments can help you get ahead of
Hopefully that counter move.
in just 3 to 6 months.
Sound good?
Proven ingredients like the Nasturide and the Noxie.
2 10s. All the things she said. Is the one that attacks me? Yep. I did this on my other save file, that's how I know. You know what I'm saying? I have to team up next week, I think, and he has to get the pin. But I reckon it's going to be a hardcore, I have to like tap an hour or something. I'll put him for table. Now for table. Put him Paul Heyman. A little over 2 minutes. Hopefully it's a tag match. And after that, I'm gonna cut. I think. I heard his voice. From the Ash. Don't hurt mine. Didn't work so well for Rick Holland and Big E doing that. I'll recommend that. Go in. Go in. Didn't that figure? You get back up when your partner's hurting. Otherwise you're knocked out. Hey, come fight me. Hey, you! I don't know the song name. I devised Papa Roach. Stop you from beating up because it's bell round. I dare you. I'm gonna start getting more points for Matt quickly. Hope you're ready to be roster. Alright guys, thank you guys very much for watching. God bless. Hello everyone, back again playing Pokemon XD Gala Darkness versus mode. I got Deoxys and Blissey up against, I don't want to say it and be wrong. Yep, Swampert and Articuno. That's a really strong team together. You have to pay attention to what you have, what they have, anticipate what you think they're going to do, and set up the best you can. Deoxys is very fast, but he can lose to pretty much one shot. You know, Articuno with Sheer Cold, you can risk that. You also have Swampert with Mirror Coat, which isn't, you know, fun to deal with. So you could protect with Deoxys. Let's look. Blissey has leftovers. Counter, Thunder, Flamethrower, Seismic Toss. So Counter's probably going to come in for Ice Punch and Mud Shot. Ice Punch and Mud Shot. So 50% chance. Don't really want to start out risking that first turn, but you might have to. Psycho Boost is going to lower special attack harshly, so gotta be conservative about that. Probably should get rid of Articuno. That's pretty much what I usually do. It seems to work out okay. Double the Articuno, and try from there. Okay. Hope that's not the end of Deoxys. Okay. There's a real case to be made to just protect next turn. I'm not loving that. That double team Blissey. Almost guaranteed not to knock out Articuno. I can't protect. I gotta go all out on the attack here. I'm gonna go Thunder Punch on Articuno. We're gonna go counter. And hope Swampert does something. Yep. Okay. Why is Swampert? Swampert should not be outspeeding Deoxys. Even, I mean, I guess you could EV train, I'm not, but otherwise there's like nothing. Okay. Oh, because he didn't Ice Punch that. That's fine. Shadow Ball. I'm gonna counter just because it has so much upside. Seismic Toss is a lot safer. And, I mean, I could have won next turn pretty much for sure. Good. That's a lot if that counts for counter, which I think round is physical. That would only make sense. Bye! Bye, Swampert! Haha, jobber. Down they go. Without even losing one. I figured just go all out attack, take the risk. It's fine. So I won 2 in a row off screen while I was recording Yu-Gi-Oh! I did this one. Yeah. I did this one off screen. Let's see if he comes back and beats me. Last time I made sure to knock out Latios first. Yeah. Actually, I don't know that I did this one. I did the one with Raikou. I think I had Raikou and Mewtwo or something like that. Mewtwo and Entei, or Raikou and someone else. I forget. Off the top of my head. Raikou and Mew. Let's see. I don't like that Toxic. I want him out of here. I don't like the Salac Berry, and I don't want him sitting there. So, like, I don't want to say I don't want him sitting there. I don't want to hit him and then he pluses off the Salad Berry. I think you just leave him alone and you just double him later. So I think you could easily go, you go Rain Dance Thunder, doesn't do much. In my opinion, I don't think that's the play here. You could almost protect with Jirachi going first. I think I'm going to go for something a little, oh, I don't have, okay, I think I'm just going to protect here. And then, not Rain Dance. Not Hydro Pump. Reflect or Mirror Coat. I think Reflect is safe. Because you're setting up, he's not going to get knocked out this turn. Jirachi isn't. I hope Reflect goes up. Reflect doesn't even go up before him. Okay, that's fine. Cool. Okay, now I'm going to use Reflect. Get some defense power. I'm going to use some of that. Not going to risk the Protect again. We're going to go Psychic. Right? Dang, no Ice Beam. Oh, man. They didn't make this one easy. I'm just not leaving. I'm not setting him up for a Salad Berry. The speed boost. No, I'm not doing that. Rain Dance would help my Hydro Pump. It also helps his Latios. I mean, you can risk it, but it's kind of lazy. I'm going Mirror Coat. Dragons should be special, so that's something. Debatably, I could have just went for the Mirror Coat first turn. And Latios may be done by now. I can go right back to protecting as long as, okay, if I want it. Ooh, very nice. I think Latios went first, so, or Jirachi went first. So this is where we just go for the knockout here on Latios. And then, what's the risk of the... Okay, that's really not fun. Reverse Pentagram in there. Get the Latios out of here. Dizzy Punch. Oh, goodness. Yep, I figured that was coming. I'm not scared of his attacks, though. I'm just not. Doom Desire's what, like in a couple turns it doesn't crap load damage or something like that? No. Bar. 120 and 85. I don't want that. Let's go for the Psychic. I almost want to Protect, but I mean, if I'm going to hit myself, I'm going to hit myself. Protect only is going to give me so much. This time I'll try to Protect. Just because I can only do it every other turn. Might as well do it this turn. Oh, there goes my Reflect. That sucks. That's really bad. Gotta go for the Psychic here. Does that only protect that turn? Because if so, that's kind of awful. I mean, it's came up before, but like something better you could be doing for sure. But he's enduring, so he can get the Salad Berry. That's the thing. So I may have to go for the Doom Desire. Let's try Doom Desire. It wasn't meant to be. Probably should have went Protect there. Ah, I really went for Protect because of that. That's alright. I'm trying for the Doom Desire. Protect. I don't really want to confuse this turn. I don't next turn either. I don't know how that works. Definitely sets him up for the Salad Berry. Nope. Didn't kick in. Now if I'm confused, I may not get my, Okay, cool. I say if I'm confused, I don't know how that works. That was the point. That was what I was trying to do. Just play defense and then knock him out before the Salad Berry really start hurting me. So cool. I like it, I like it. Pick up a couple wins. What the heck? Just a minute, guys. My phone hasn't gone up 1% yet since I plugged it in. It's uploading a video, but it's also got the screen off. Let me unplug the switch charger. Hope for the best. I guess I could do another battle. This is the one I think I just did. And I won this one off screen, so. Latios and Gengar. Same thing. Defensive and speed. Gengar has Protect. That's annoying. Latios has Helping Hand. That's annoying. So you probably don't double the Gengar, just in case. Gengar's probably going Shadow Ball. Unless he Brick Breaks on Blissey, which I don't really understand, or he can Thunderbolt on Blissey, which would get annoying. I think I Psycho Boost here. I think either way I'm going to Shadow Ball. I think I need to try to get rid of Gengar. It's the only thing only way I'm getting rid of him. Thunder Flamethrower, Seismic Toss. Brick Break could work for Seismic for counter. I'm gonna try to seismic talk to Latias. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Knock him out. Knock it out. Knock it out. Cool. Miss ball. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. She should be done. Break my egg. Alright, yep. Kind of figured. Say I play one more at least, see if I get knocked out yet. I kind of wish you could do it that way. You could just play everyone with one team. This one I didn't do on camera, but I won this one off camera. I think it was the first one I did. I like 5 in a row or more. They're the same movesets. I'm probably just going to theoretically get rid of the Gengar first, I think. I don't like that Protect. I really don't like Open Hand either. I don't like the Waterfall. I don't like the Shadow Ball. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of nonsense. Fight the Latias, Shadow Ball, the Gengar. Maybe I could have done it backwards, but... I guess I could have doubled the Latias. But he still might have lived. Gee, so no way. Oh, that's annoying. I don't like that. So we go 50-50, fight the Gengar, Shadow Ball, the Latias. Can't risk Protect. No, I'm good. Oh, Gengar, you're taking do another hit. I'm not quite sure why you didn't Protect, but you're AI, so... What you're gonna get? That might be... Nope, okay. So that might be the end of Mewtwo, if that was the situation. We'll fight Shadow Ball again. That's the play here, in my opinion. Physical attack. Oh no, that's special. Thought it was special. Yeah, I still got this. So all that paralysis did was slow my speed at best. Come on, someone beat me so I can take a break. Camera's rolling, I'm gonna keep going. I'm expecting like 10 in a row or something. I don't know if I did this one on screen, but I can do it again. Did it off screen, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I ended up winning with like a Rain Dance Hydro Pump on Sceptile. So I knocked out Moltres first. Did I just risk a Hydro Pump and then knock it out too? I forget. I want to say I did this one. I don't think it was like me and someone else that had Hydro Pump. Excuse me. Moltres with Toxic and Double Team. Sceptile with Protect. Sceptile is going to have a super effective move on something no matter what. Moltres also can fly. That could get annoying. Could set up Rain Dance Thunder. It's not the worst idea. Protect's not 100% necessary. We go Rain Dance Thunder on Moltres. I hope that gets it out of here. I don't think it does, though. I think you're better off going Psychic on Moltres. And Reflect. His defense and HP are so high, it's just like, okay, cool. It's gonna be a little awkward. I think the Reflect's gonna come in clutch, though. Oh, of course you have leftovers, that's nice. Oh, Bright Powder. I don't like the Bright Powder. Something could miss. Serene Grace is crazy. One Psychic. Hydro Pump, doubling Moltres. Really doubt the Hydro Pump's hitting. But if it does, Moltres is probably gonna hurt. Come on. Come on, you got it. Heck yeah. That was the point of doing it, so it worked. Good Protect. Not really scared of anything, though. Psychic. Hydro Pump. That Reflect came in clutch there. Saving a little bit of points. I don't know if it really kept me from losing necessarily, but... Alright, come on. Yeah, the Rain Dance. Knock it out. That's fine. I got this. Kind of unfair. Yeah, I lucked out. What can I say? Cool. I like that. Liking that a lot. Like on Madagascar. This one I haven't done. You break my streak, you break it. Double weakness, though, is very interesting. Excuse me. I don't have an ice move. Take out Zapdos. I really don't know which one is more annoying to me. The Cherry Berry. That's curing paralysis, right? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Indoor Salad Berry. Blaze Kick super effective. Thunder Punch super effective. Reversal super effective. You don't really want to lower his points, basically. You got to double Blaze again. I kind of want Zapdos out of here quicker anyway. So you got Thunderbolt, Drill Peck, Toxic, Thunder Wave. Not wanting Thunder Wave or Toxic, and I definitely don't want to get in 2 turns to have a chance to do both. So I think to play a Psychic, Zapdos, Hydro Pump, Zapdos. And just really hope for the Hydro Pump hit. Ooh. Oh, I don't like that. Take one more hit. Heck yeah. Psychic Zapdos. Miracle for special moves. Thunder Punch should be a special move. Screw it. Let's just go for it. Ew, no. I thought for sure he was going for Thunder Punch. He thought I was going to go for Hydro Pump, so didn't do any good. So Reflect would have ideally worked better there. Now we're going for the kill, though. Double super effective moves. You don't get the hit. Oh, goodness. Oh, Salad Berry takes a turn. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's a Salad Berry. It doesn't come in clutch right then. Gotta wait the next turn. Sure. Another win in a row. I don't know if I did this one on camera yet, but I'm waiting for them to beat me, so I'm playing until they beat me at the moment. If this goes too much longer, then we'll see, but... Got the Articuno, should have Sheer Cold. And Bright Powder. Sheer Cold Mirror Coat. Probably don't Reflect. Mirror Coat's more for late game, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Do what I wanted. Come on, hit, yeah, that's what I wanted. At least I get some damage off Mirror Coat. Right? Oh, come on, I missed! Psychic. Articuno. Reflect. That's 200. Oh, heck no. Let's go for the Hydro Pump on Articuno. Really hope for knockout. What else can you do? Dang, I didn't know much. I thought the lowering special defense would matter. Another. Yeah, that's clutch. I need that. The off chance it matters. One time it's going to miss when it matters, but I feel like I've hit it the last 4 times, maybe. Okay, that's... Whatever. You would have Mirror Coated on Jirachi, you would have knocked it out, probably, so... There's that. If he survives this... I don't know. Water move. Accuracy is not ideal to lose. Go for Protect. Get some extra points in case I need them. Really doesn't have anything I'm scared of yet. Alright, oh, that's probably it because I got rid of my Protect, my Reflect. That's alright. Alright guys, thanks for watching. God bless, have a good day.
So it's a talk about here today, doing the Wrestling show, which just ended, it seems, and damn it, that's like holy smoke. Well, let's talk about the pre-show, we'll get into it, and then on the show, there's a lot to talk about.
Okay, pre-show. To open with a moderation match with Mr. House family. So we're going to O'Reilly, Mark Strong, Peter Jim Cassidy had a great match. Just 16 minutes of all action, all great moves. This crowd was on fire for this match. Like the crowd was really, really hot until they got tired because the show went too long. Which was, the thing is like the one thing that like very early into the show is like everything that we said before. AEW just needs to do shows in the afternoon, or they need to do shows that are shorter. because the show at night, the show was too long. They've done longer shows in the afternoon, significantly longer that weren't too long. And the difference is that in the afternoon you don't get tired, and in the evening, especially I can just imagine, Eastern time and Central time, but Eastern time in particular, because this thing ended at 12:30, and it doesn't need to do that. Just do it in the afternoon. I mean, we've already proven that it helps European buys, doesn't really hurt U.S. buys, it hurts Australian buys, but there's whatever. But it's just that was like I think that's the thing here, because this crowd, St. Louis, it's exactly what we talked about earlier in the week. This St. Louis is a hard city for them to draw in, but the people who come are loud as hell. I mean, the first match was so heated. So, and a lot of matches on the early part of the card, and even later. But again, the 5.5 hour show, you're tired. The other thing, too, on this one is that the place was pretty much packed when the first match in the pre-show started, which is not the case in a lot of the cities. So these people did sit there for legitimately 5.5 hours, so it was tough. But anyway, that match was great. And then we had Booker T. Kingston against Griff Garrison and Cole Carter in like a 3-minute match, where Red Rama and Cole Carter, and it was, it's exactly what you think. Just 3-minute match, nothing wrong with it, nothing right with it. But I mean, it was the weakest match on the show, easily. You don't really get a read on what Eddie Kingston can do and can't do, or any of them really. It just was, it's a TV match. I would say he didn't need it, but based on how they did the show, it didn't hurt, it didn't help, it was just there. Then we had Willow Nightingale, and it was actually an angle first. It was AJ and his son are at a bar. I'm not sure how his son got in. Don't they card 12-year-olds or 14-year-olds?
I don't think they carded. They just say you can't come in, kid.
Well, he was there. So they were at a bar, and there's people drinking everywhere, and they're cutting a promo about their match. So their match is going to be at Full Gear, which I kind of figured. They issued the challenge weeks ago. Apparently from ROH TV, it looks like it's going to be QT as the mystery partner for AJ against Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. But anyway, they're at the bar, and AJ is doing his promo, and Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta were at the bar in Boca Raton, Florida. I guess whatever. And they beat the hell out of AJ in front of his son, which was really quite sad. And, just building up the thing for Full Gear. So then we had Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford against Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. And it ended up with Harley Cameron pinning Penelope Ford. It was all right. I mean, it was actually good. It had a ton of heat. It wasn't great. There were a couple things that were not perfect, but crowd loved it. And, I mean, it was, they all looked good. Willow's got all the charisma. Willow really actually looked quite good in this match. She was the star of the match. But they all worked very hard. And then we had FDR against Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. And, there's about 7 minutes left in the pre-show when it ended. So they bled it into the first match, which is actually something that I've always thought should be done. So they did it, and then they opened up the pay-per-view in the middle of this hot match. I mean, it was hot the first 7 minutes, and it got even better, and it was just, a super match. But yeah, from the very start, these guys, I think Tony probably sent them this thing of like, we need a hot match on this pre-show on, because it was airing at 7 o'clock on TNT, with the idea of, looking for his, what's the deal, Leonard Garcia and Green Zombie match, which is always what you want to end the pre-show. And so they were going for it, and if you were watching it on TV, to see the rest, you had to go and buy the pay-per-view. So they used that as the opener. So that was the pre-show. It was, got an angle, and got, a great match, got to start another great match, and a couple okay matches. Well, women's match is good, and just a TV squash match to get hooking Eddie Kingston on the show. Not sure why it was needed, but it was short enough. It was absolutely unoffensive.
Yeah, I got home and turned on the main show, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? What's happening? And it was the middle of the Jet Speed FTR match. And it didn't bother me, because I didn't think I was going to see the match at all, because it was on the pre-show, and I was watching the main show. I did get some complaints from people that, for whatever reason, couldn't...
Why would you complain? I mean, it's just...
No, the complaints were from people that couldn't get to the main show for whatever reason, and they were watching on TNT, and then they got 3 minutes of the match, and I just played pay-per-view, because you got to see the entire match. And the match was fantastic. We saw 8 minutes on pay-per-view, and it was 8 awesome minutes. And they did the Bobby and Brutal Ultimate Warrior finish. Stokely grabbed Speedball's foot, Dax fell on top, Stokely held the foot down, got the pin. I mean, just every wild spot you can think of for 8 solid minutes. The crowd is going wild for this match.
Oh yeah.
And as you noted, I mean, it was a really hot crowd up through. I think
the women's match is really.
I think it was the Tony match. And the thing that I think the show was too long, but the difference in this show was that they ran in St. Louis, and the St. Louis Commission had a bunch of restrictions. And those included no bleeding, no brawling in the crowd, and...
They did bleed and brawl in the crowd.
There was no crowd brawling. No one went in the crowd. And the only bleeding was in the Derby match when they did a blood capsule at the very beginning of the match. But because of that, it's like, you didn't have the bloodbath with the thumbtacks and everything like that. You didn't have the crowd brawling like in the... I actually expected a lot of crowd brawling in the Hurt Syndicate match. We had none. And so I think the thing was, you didn't really have like the wide variety of matches that you normally see on an AEW show. It was just wrestling match in a ring, wrestling match in a ring, wrestling match in a ring, wrestling match. And by the women's match, it was like, we've seen a lot of matches with not a lot of variation. So I think that might have played a part in it. Because normally we would have had some crazy crowd brawl and thumbtacks, and they always do some kind of hardcore craziness at some point during the show. But we didn't get that.
I didn't miss the barbed wire, and I didn't miss the thumbtacks.
Well,
not at all.
It would have made something different.
We got broken glass. And
well, kind of, but they didn't even bump into the broken glass. It was like they tried to avoid it so they wouldn't bleed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Tekla, or actually first, before the Tekla Jamie Hayter match, they introduced Charlie Thez, who is, I believe, 77 years old. And
I think 79.
79. Well, anyway, she looked great. Seemed happy, excited.
So let me think about this. So she's 30 years younger than Lou. Lou would be 109, so she'd be 79.
79. Well, she was there ringside.
My mom loves Charlie Thez, because they've met and they've talked and everything. So I like Charlie Thez. I mean, I've always liked Charlie Thez. Obviously I was friends with Lou. It reminded me that did I ever tell you that when Lou died, I might have been, except for Charlie, the last person I ever talked to Lou Thez.
Really?
Yeah, the day
Oh yeah, you talked to him when he was on his way into the operation. He was like, it'll be fine.
That's right. Yeah, he was going in for open heart surgery. I didn't know he was going in for open heart surgery, but I called about Bobby Manigoff, who was a wrestler that was a world champion, great wrestler, booker, and all that. And he had passed away. And so I was talking to Lou about a story, and we talked for a while. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm going to I'm having open heart surgery." I go, "What?" Then he's 86 years old at this point. Open heart surgery is not exactly a picnic, right? And he's just like laughing it off like it's nothing, right? And so I mean, he's taking it just like it's nothing. Don't worry, it's gonna unclog something, and everything's gonna be good. And he's just laughing it off, and we had a nice conversation. And then, like 2 days later, I'm starting to hear about this stuff about he's not waking up. And it was actually I think it was about 2 weeks before he actually died, but it was like he just didn't wake up. And I just remember Lance Russell called me up and just goes, "I thought he was going to live forever." It's like, no, nobody lives forever. He goes, "I thought he was going to live forever."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. She was cool, in the show. Got involved with the Jamie Hayter Tekla match and cut a promo about how much Lou would have loved the show, which I don't know that Lou would have loved some of the show, but I'm sure he'd have loved the effort, because, you can't knock the effort on this show. I mean, the one thing, no matter what you want to say, is these guys worked, and women worked so frickin' hard, and they were so creative in especially the Young Bucks match. The creativity in that match was great. The match layout for the Brody King match was fantastic. The FTR match was great. So I mean, it was a night. If you like great tag team matches, boy, this was your night. I mean, but it was, it was too long of a show. And like I said, we've learned the secret about the long show to make it a lot more palatable. And the secret is that it started 2 in the afternoon, and whatever, it works. And at night, it doesn't work as well. Not that I'm saying it's a bad show or anything like that. It was a great show, but it was the complaints that we got before. Like when I was looking at my emails and everything, and people voting and everything on the thing, and even though everyone loved the show, it was very much, God, the show was so long. God, everyone, right? And the last show, which was, the last show was about the same length of time. The all-in show was much longer, and got very few complaints about the length. Because afternoon shows, you can go 5 hours. It's okay.
So Tekla and Jamie Hayter had a very good match, and Charlie was out there at ringside, and Jamie chopped her right in front of Charlie, and Charlie was laughing. So Tony makes her, they fought up top. Jamie headbutts her way free, tried to drop kick, missed. Kind of go back and forth for a while, and then Tekla starts yelling at the ref and walks into a backbreaker. They go back and forth. Tekla does her bridging spot, her spider spot, does a spider walk, spins around, and gets lariated and pinned. So, kind of made her look like a geek. But Jamie Hayter won, and
probably the way he books and everything like this, that probably means Jamie Hayter's going to get a shot. I guess the two champs are Chris Statlander and Mercedes, and they're going to wrestle each other in the next pay-per-view.
Yes.
So maybe Jamie Hayter will face one of those two at World's End. But this is also to build the what's it called, Blood and Guts match.
The eventual Blood and Guts, yes.
Yeah. So we know it's the Triangle Madness and Queen Aminata and Tekla. That was very clear from the post match. And then we'll see who they add on each team from there.
So anyway, the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express with $500,000 going to the winner. And I thought this was the best match on the show. It was incredible. The Young Bucks are always great. Jack Perry, it's the best he's looked in forever. It's the best Luchasaurus I've seen probably in years.
Ever.
He was great in this match. All sorts of athletic spots.
The young Bucks make everyone look better than they.
Well, they do, but he's out there doing moonsaults and standing moonsaults and all of these athletic spots. I mean, he was physically great in this match.
Yeah, I mean, like, he went, like, when he tore his hamstring, he was never the same. This is the best he's been. I mean, it may be the best I've ever seen him, but he's never been like this before since the torn hamstring. I mean, he just was. He was in a match where he could really do more than be just one-dimensional guy, right? So, I mean, he had the freedom to do a lot, and he did. And Jack Perry was, Jack Perry's much better as a babyface anyway.
Yeah.
So, good opponents, good story. But yeah, creative. I mean, from a creative standpoint, this match was so good. Yeah.
So they're doing all these big spots. The crowd's going nuts, telling the Young Bucks they're poor. And then finally, all sorts of kickouts of big moves. The Jack and Luchasaurus hit the Indie Taker, got broken up. Bucks hit the BT.
No, TK Driver, not Indie Taker.
Whatever it was. Bucks hit the BT trigger, and Jack kicked out of that. Finally, they tried the TK Driver. Luchasaurus broke it up. Nick got sent outside. They hit Matt with their finish and got the win and $500,000. The Bucks are still broke. This match was awesome.
Yeah.
And they mentioned first time the Jurassic Express had beaten the Bucks. And then Jack Perry goes to help him up. They get up on their own. Jack offers them some of the cash, but the Don Callis family runs down, hits the ring. They jump Jurassic Express. The Bucks see what's happening, but they just start walking to the back. And then Kenny Omega's music hits, and he meets the Bucks in the aisle, and he tells them, go back there and help. And they pause for a while, but shake their heads and keep walking. So Kenny hits the ring. Jack and Luchasaurus help make a comeback, and they clear the ring. And that was Kenny Omega's appearance here on this show.
Yeah. I mean, so the deal with the match, so it was originally going to be Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi against Mark Davis and who was the other one? Josh Alexander. That was originally going to be the match on this show that ended up not happening because of Kota Ibushi's injury. I had written in the Observer was Hechicero, but Hechicero was booked in London or Wolverhampton, England this weekend. So it was never, Hechicero was never booked on this show, but it was going to be Davis and Alexander in that spot. So, they didn't have that match. And, it seems like they're teasing, and I mean, they've kind of said it, that at some point there's going to be all those guys get back together, but it's not going to be now. And, that was like the first sort of tease of, maybe they will, but they didn't do it and everything like that. And so it looks like it's going to be Kenny Omega, Luchasaurus, and Jack Perry, still against the Callis family.
Had the Hurt Syndicate Gates of Agony tornado match for the #1 contendership, and given the restrictions of stay at ringside or in the ring, it was a tornado match. I thought that this was the best match these two teams have had together. I thought everybody looked really good, and crowd was super into it. We heard people chant, and finally there at the end, they were going to kill Ricochet, but Khan yanked him outside, got in the ring, volunteered to take on all three guys by himself, but they killed him. Lashley speared him. Shelton got the pin. The Hurt Syndicate are the #1 contenders to the Trios titles, so MVP is going to get a title shot coming up this Wednesday. And it is not a babyface versus babyface match, as we found out later.
Yeah, these guys are now heels. Yeah. And so that explained why the babyfaces won here and not the heels won. Because when they announced as the #1 contenders, I figured, well, that means that the Gates of Agony and Ricochet are going to win, which they didn't. And it was a good match. Shelton Benjamin was tremendous. He was like he was like the star of the match. You know, Ricochet's always great, of course. So those guys really did a good job, and you know, I'm getting to really like the Gates of Agony. They're doing real well in this feud, and so there you go.
So then we had Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe for the TNT title, and I thought this match was great, but this was the first match where I would say that the crowd was not great. It was good, but it was not great like the previous match. And I think part of that was they've beaten Mark Briscoe in big matches so many times. Like the last big win he got was over MJF, but there was like nothing on the line. You know, it was like he beat MJF and then MJF left. But like anytime there's like a big championship or something like that, it's like he always loses. And you could kind of see during the near falls, it's like people did not think this guy was going to beat Kyle Fletcher.
Well,
and I thought he should have beaten Kyle Fletcher.
Well, I mean, the thing is that Kyle Fletcher, I think people see Kyle Fletcher at a much higher level. Like Kyle Fletcher the deal is Kyle Fletcher presents himself like he's a superstar, like he's going to be the top guy in the company very soon.
Well, yeah, and when the match was over, they even said, like, what's next for Kyle Fletcher? He probably is going to be going after the world title. And so I thought...
It's a little early for him to go after the world title right now, though. He just lost a match. But, I mean, you know, they also said the basic thing is that it's not a question if Kyle Fletcher is going to be the world champion. He is. It's just a question of when it's going to happen.
Well, of course.
Which is
that's
deal.
why I thought, like, Mark's going to win the title here, and we're going to move Kyle Fletcher, like, to the top.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could have done it. Yeah, you absolutely could have done it. And, you know, Mark winning would have been good. So the deal, after the show, Kyle Fletcher was saying, like, I'm done. And Tony Khan was saying, it's like, you know, they were starting to talk about best of 7. So now, like, Fletcher is up 3-2 in their five match series. And Fletcher was saying, I'm done. And Tony Khan was saying that this match was so great. We're going to do, you know, he didn't quite say we're going to do a best of 7, but he was very much indicating that it's not done. So I think that Mark Briscoe will probably win the next one, and then, you know, at the end, you know, Kyle Fletcher will probably win the 7th, or who knows what's going to happen. So they still can go and do that. You know, he was talking about, you know, that I won the match clean. Why do I need to do another one? And it's like, well, he beat you twice. They had a great match, though. This was, you know, I mean, it was, I think this, you know, it's hard to say, because I think this was their best match, but it's splitting hairs because pretty much every one of their matches has been great, and this was different from the other ones. It was the longest, right? The most near falls. So I think it's probably the best of them, but not by a lot, because several of them have been at this very same level.
Last 2 minutes, it really picked up, and I think that's the only point where fans thought maybe Mark was going to win. Tried a cutthroat driver, but Kyle grabbed the ref to escape. Ended up hitting a low blow behind the ref's back, hit a brain buster. Mark kicked out of that. So Kyle hit a running knee for a near fall, lawn dart, and then he hit the top rope brain buster and got the pin. Excellent match.
Oh, yeah.
Then we had Toni Storm and Statlander for the women's title. And this was when the crowd got really quiet. And it was a babyface versus babyface match. Just a lot of wrestling after many wrestling matches earlier. And at no point did they, like, really get into near falls. I mean, they would pop for things here, they would pop for things there, but there was no, like, giant reactions. And they kept going for their finishes. Statlander hit the seatbelt. Toni kicked out of that. Hit the Saturday Night Fever, put her submission on, but Toni ended up fighting for a long time. They actually teased that she was going to submit. But after fighting, instead of submitting or going out, she just started screaming, "Murder me!" And so Statlander let go of the hold, hit the Saturday Night Fever, and pinned her. And that was the end of Toni Storm. So it was a good match, but it never, like, got to that next level.
Yeah, I expected that because Tony Khan usually doesn't do the quickie title changes back and forth. I think most people know that. The only thing is like watching it, it's like I always think that the world champion should be, especially in the women's division, where the champion, the AEW champion, is going to be the person who's going to be in the big women's match on the pay-per-view. And like, Toni Storm is so much bigger of a star, and granted, she doesn't need to always have the belt. And even again, when she lost it, like if she had lost to Mercedes, that would have been fine. And even on the last show when she lost, I thought, well, it shakes things up. But taking her away from that thing, and I think that it looked like, I don't know this to be the case, but it looked like they're setting them up, Mina Shirakawa and Toni Storm, they beat both of them tonight with the idea that now what we'll do is we'll make them the tag team champions.
Well, of course. They basically told you that.
And making Toni Storm tag team champion, the deal is like it gives the tag team titles credibility because you have the biggest women's star in the company as tag team champion. So I get that, but I just, I mean, look, Chris is going to work with Mercedes Moné, so it's a big match title, 11 belts versus 1 belt and everything like that, but the 1 belt being the biggest belt, and maybe Mercedes wins that belt too. I don't know, but it's like I don't feel like if it was going to be someone for a long-term title reign, I would have picked Willow above Chris Statlander. I think Willow's got way more charisma. Probably wrestles better as well. Chris is good, but she doesn't feel like, like Mercedes, Toni Storm, or even Willow. Like someone who you really look at and the crowd reacts to them like they're a superstar. But, she's in the spot, and, it's, people who just want everyone to get the belt and everything like that. It's like her turn. She's been around for years and years, so it's her turn. And if you look at it that way, it's fine. But again, like I think the world champion should be, if you've got 3 superstars, and you might have more in that company, but those 3 in particular stand out to me. I think that for the most part, the belt should be on one of the 3 and not on number 5, because they always push Megan Bayne as such a big star as well, although she doesn't connect at the same level as those other 3. So putting the world title on number 5 just takes, I'd rather the world title was on number 1, 2, or 3.
So afterwards, Toni and Statlander are hugging, and then Mercedes comes out. And Mercedes gets in the ring, and she goes, Statlander, get the hell out of my ring. And then Statlander got the hell out of her ring. Just left.
She came back later. That was weird.
I know, but I mean, came off like a total geek. Like, at least get in her face or something like that, or say, I'm coming for you later, or whatever.
Total geek. I just watched Ray Phoenix.
Well, so Mercedes, as her usual promo, challenges any champion in the back to put their title on the line against her. So Statlander does not accept. Instead, out comes, and I quote, the Ring of Honor interim women's television champion.
She got a belt.
Mina Shirakawa.
I thought they were going to do Shuri for some reason, but I guess they didn't.
Ring of Honor interim women's television champion.
Yeah.
So, well, they did
I
it
don't
for
know,
a reason.
interim, I mean, it's like freaking...
It's been 100 days.
Yeah,
It's been 100 days.
It's been a long time since Red Velvet's been around. So it's kind of like, at some point...
You should just be the women's television champion.
Yes, for sure. It's like, by 100 days, it should not be interim anymore, yeah. By the way, that just reminds me of something. Did you hear about the stuff with Ace Steel, with interim and everything? Ace Steel and Moxley, and today?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so Tony Khan made a statement that John Moxley is like the Harley Race of their company, and Ace Steel just flipped out on comparing John Moxley to Harley Race because, he was friends with Harley Race and just thinks, and Ace Steel's Punk's buddy, and Punk probably has no love whatsoever for Moxley. But yeah, he flipped out on Tony for saying that Moxley was their Harley Race, which, whatever. You can say whatever you want. I mean, there's a lot of similarity with Moxley and Terry Funk. A lot more than people really know, because I know both of them a little bit, and one of them a lot. And, but, whatever. So he compared, he's 4-time champion. Harley Race was multiple-time champion. Tony could... I just thought that was quite the overreaction today.
So then we have Mercedes and Mina, and this really struggled for heat because they went 17 minutes or so, Nobody thought Mina had any chance whatsoever of
Nobody
winning.
thought Mina could win.
It's their third match of the year they've had together, and I mean, the wrestling was fine.
Nobody thinks anyone's going to beat Mercedes unless it's like Tony Storm or, maybe they will with Chris at the next pay-per-view. We'll see, because Chris has that belt. But that's been kind of the thing with Mercedes is that, Harley Cameron got a lot of heat because they were in Australia and everything like that. But it's been difficult because people, in all these matches. I think when Mercedes wrestled Statlander, there was one of those times on pay-per-view, the crowd was pretty damn into it. But, and for whatever reason, that match with, was it Suzuki, I think it was, in L.A. or Southern California, Long Beach maybe, where the crowd was just going insane. But, that's the thing. They just don't think that she's losing. And this was late in the show. And, the crowd was kind of into Mina Shirakawa just coming out. And it was, the wrestling was good. But, I would say on the pay-per-view itself, it's probably the weakest match of a series of really good matches.
So then they had the same finish, basically, as the Briscoe match, just a different series of moves. But T's bumping the ref. When the ref's back is turned, illegal eye poke, make the cover. This time she put her feet on the ropes. So Mercedes won, and now she has 11 belts. Tomorrow she's going to win her 12th belt, and then she's going to go for her 13th belt against Statlander at Full Gear. And match has been made. Then we had Brodito and Okada and Takeshita for the AW Tag Team titles. And this was probably the second best match on the show, I thought.
I thought it was the best match on the show. I thought this match was freaking incredible.
It was incredible. But it was also very long late in the show, 27 minutes.
27-minute match, yeah, but they really peaked at the end, though.
They did. But you could have peaked at the end in a 22-minute match or an 18-minute match.
I think 22 minutes would have been better, but it was an amazing match. Just Brody King, the crowd was super over in this one. It wasn't like they were tired or nothing because, they were going nuts. Brody King is so over. Bandito is really over. He's got so much live event charisma. People that were there live were just telling me, the guy was just so over with the crowd. And, Takeshita's, with Ospreay out injured, Takeshita might be the best bell-to-bell guy in the world right now. And Okada carries himself he's like this guy, and he walks around, and it's like, whatever he does and chooses to do, he does with such confidence and carries himself he walks around like he is a freaking superstar. And whatever he chooses to do, that spot where Bandito came off the top rope into that drop kick, man, that was the most perfect drop kick spot. I've seen that spot 100 times, and this was probably as good as any of them that I've ever seen. And, all the stuff that he's doing with Takeshita, where they're doing the turn and the mistakes and all that stuff, the near mistakes and everything, it's when they did all those twists and turns, and it's just freaking perfect. That last couple of minutes was just, it's like the match, I thought the match was very good, and then after the last 2 minutes, it was just oh my God, this match.
The last 2 minutes of this were the two best minutes of action on the entire show. They were incredible. The crowd was good, but what made it great was they did a quadruple German suplex spot. And they hit that spot, and that's when the place just decided this is the best match we've ever seen.
Well, how about Bandito doing the one-arm 21 plex? What a finish!
Well, the finish.
Okada.
The finish is Bandito ends up in the ring, and they're killing this guy. And finally, Okada goes for a lariat, but he accidentally, on purpose, hits Takeshita. And he's laughing.
He's laughing about it.
And Don Callis outside is just aghast. And so Bandito kills Okada with a knee. And so he's about to win.
One arm.
Hold on.
One arm knee.
You're getting ahead here. He hits this big knee, and he goes for the 21 plex, but his shoulder gives out. And so he grabs...
His shoulder gave out. Oh, right.
He grabs his shoulder.
The time before, the next time too, yeah.
And then Brody kills Okada with a pile driver, and he screams to Bandito, "Don't you ever stop fighting!" And so Bandito knows that he's got to do this, and so that's when he hits a one-arm 21 plex on Okada.
No, he did the one-arm knee first. before the one-arm 21 plex, it was like that GTS, but with one arm, and he dropped him and kneed him in the face. Then he does the one-arm 21 plex.
So he pins him, and it was an incredible final 2 minutes. And that was that. Great match.
And Wednesday's show will be Okada and Bandito for Okada's title.
Hell.
So he's going to have his Ring of Honor champion lose to Okada, which could set something else up too. So, but man, that Takeshita, he did that what's it called? The wheelbarrow German on Brody King, which is so incredible to watch, just because Brody King is so freaking large, and you're starting from that low angle where, you need so much lower back strength to pull that one off, because you're not getting the kick from the other guy. So that was so impressive, and then just everything that guy does, man. What a fantastic pro wrestler he is. And when him and Okada finally wrestle, man, because I don't think Okada will want to be showed up. I think he'll put on a performance like he did with Ospreay, and wherever that is, World's End. I don't know where it's going to be, but it shouldn't be too long from now because people are more than ready for it today.
And we had Hangman Page Samoa Joe for the AEW title. It went like 16 minutes. It was like the perfect length of time for this match. It didn't go too long.
I think it was 19.
It didn't go too short.
Yeah, it was 1901.
It was perfect. And they had a very, very good match. There was one scary spot where Joe went for a German, and Hangman tried to flip over, but he didn't make it over, and he landed right on top of his fucking head. And then the very next spot was supposed to be a moonsault, and he's slow getting up there, and then he goes for the moonsault, and he missed by a mile. And
but it was supposed to hit.
Joe sold it anyway, and so they just went with it.
It was supposed to be a hit.
Apparently afterwards, asked around, and apparently Hangman told people that he was totally fine, so hopefully he's totally fine. But other than that, it was a very good match, and then finally there at the end, Hangman tries the buckshot, Joe counters into a choke, Page sells it like he's going out, but he gets the ropes, and then he ends up hitting a Deadeye, which looked like it killed Samoa Joe. He kicks out at 3, but the ref calls it a 2. Hangman then hits 2 buckshots, and Joe doesn't go down. Hits a 3rd buckshot, Joe goes down, and he pins him. The finishing sequence of this match was awesome, and great finish.
Well, the one thing with this match compared to the other matches is that we had all these great wrestling matches, moves matches. This was a fight, so it was a welcome change because we did have, it is true, we did have a lot of very similar matches. This one, they just went out there like they were going to fight, and that's the kind of match that Joe's really good at. And really, that Page is very versatile, and he more than held his own. And this is like there was a big angle, and obviously we're going to see another match, between these two, and probably very soon, maybe even on the next pay-per-view, if not on TV. It's a good win for Page. It's a credible guy, before they get to whether it's MJF, who's still got it, whatever it is, he's still got the contract, and Fletcher, whenever they're ready to go with him. And then, there's other people they can go with too. But Joe was a good win, and they built up a rematch, right afterwards, because he thought it was over, and they were going to do the handshake, and then the ops all turned on Adam Page and gave him a muscle buster on the belt. So to me, that feels like a rematch got to be coming.
So then we had the actually afterwards the ops hit the ring, and the fans are chanting Joe's name, and he raises Hangman's arm in victory, and he shakes his hand, and then he clotheslined him to death. And all of the ops turn heel, including Shibata. They're stomping on Hangman, and Joe clobbers him with the belt, and he points to the top rope, and they take Hangman to the top rope, and Joe gives him the muscle buster under the belt, and a great, simple heel turn angle. Joe's awesome, and this was great.
Yeah, it's good. At least people got, they got a big angle. They got it happening. Besides great matches, you want your happenings. They got 2 of them. So this is the first one.
And the main event was Darby Allin, Jon Moxley in a I Quit match. And if you consider the inability to use blood, the inability to brawl in the crowd, They did a hell of a creative job in this match. They did use a blood capsule early. John wrapped a chain around his hand and started punching Darby in the face, and Darby starts bleeding here. And then they immediately do some slingshot into the thing, and Darby gets the blood on his hand, and he starts wiping out his ear. And then Moxley's got some of the fake blood on his chest, so they made it look bloody early. But then after that, there was like nothing else. And then we had, they got out the whatever you call them, the skewers. But they weren't allowed to, I guess, skewer probably. So instead, he acted like he stabbed the skewer under the guy's fingernail. Everyone's all squeamish about that. And they brawl all over the place. And finally, of course, out come the Death Riders, and everybody's getting involved. Yuta and Garcia. Darby ends up grabbing lighter fluid. He pours it all over Moxley. Yuta and Garcia attack him. He goes after the eyes. Moxley ends up hits a cutter and wipes all the lighter fluid off him. So they're teasing fire, but didn't actually deliver it. And then Moxley finds a taser, and he tries to use it, but Darby blocks it, so Marina hits the low blow, and then Moxley tases Darby, curb stomps him, gives him a Death Rider through a chair, so he's dead. They set up 2 tables outside. Claudio ends up getting the ring. He presses Darby like he's going to put him through the 2 tables outside, but instead he turns around and everyone screams. He freaking tosses this dude all the way over the top onto the announce table. Darby is now completely dead. The fans are chanting, "This is murder." Moxley gives him a Death Rider off the apron through the 2 tables. Darby still won't quit. Now Moxley's furious. He says, "Dude, you just got to quit. You're going to get yourself killed. Nobody cares about you. The fans don't care about you. I'm the only guy that cares about you, so you got to quit." Guy won't quit. So then they go to get an aquarium, which they fill with water. Did you bring piranhas, electric eels? What did you bring?
They're going to try to choke him in the...
They attempted to drown him.
Drown him. They're trying to drown him, yeah.
And Darby will not quit. Mox is getting more and more angry. And finally the lights go out, and they come back on, and Old Man Sting is in the ring. His hair is whiter than fallen snow. He's got this big, giant Santa beard, and he's got his face paint on, and he's got a bat. And he waffles the Death Riders. He takes them all out. He smashes the aquarium. He gives the bat to Darby. He leaves. Darby on his own then kills Moxley with bat shots, chokes him with the flag, Scorpion Death Drop, Coffin Drop, puts him into Deathlock in the water. I guess Moxley don't like water. He quits, and Darby gets the win. And literally, as he starts celebrating, the show goes off the air. So they were very, very low on time.
Well, the deal. What was it?
It was Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime cut it at the top of the hour, which was a mistake on the Amazon Prime side. You know, it was like they had made it clear to everyone that they were going the fifth hour, and for some reason, Amazon Prime cut it early. So,
there were also a lot of people in the beginning of the night that could not order on Xfinity. Got a lot of complaints that they couldn't get the show on Xfinity. So there were production issues, but I thought these guys did a hell of a job.
Well, the problem with not being able to order is also a cable company issue. It's not, like that wouldn't be, it's like with UFC and ESPN, for all these years, all those problems. I mean, it's 100% the fault of ESPN. I don't know how or why these systems, after decades and decades and decades of doing this, have these problems, but they did. It's whatever. It's just, you would think that, that again, especially like Comcast, it's Xfinity. It's like they've literally been doing pay-per-view since the beginning of time. Why there should be a show where you can't order it? Although I will also, I had a couple of shows back. I was ordering it through them, and I did have a problem, and they were like freaking. I mean, they have the worst customer service in the world. So if people had problems with that, oh my God, I feel sorry for you. I mean, they literally, it's impossible to get to customer service, and when you do, they're the most incompetent, and it's and they have the rep. It's not just like this some wrestling thing. It's like they have the rep for having the worst customer delivery service in the world, and so I can just imagine if people tried to order it and it wasn't working, that they probably weren't getting a lot of help at first.
All right, we got a bunch of news we got to get into here, then we'll talk about SmackDown. What is the update on Seth Rollins?
I mean, it's nothing that we haven't talked to in much, but he's having surgery. I mean, that's 100%. And when they open up, they'll find out. Like, they don't know all the damage in his shoulder, and they will find out the damage when they open him up, and when they do the surgery, we'll have an idea. I mean, it's like, I guess the best way to put it is they hope he'll be okay for WrestleMania. There's no way of knowing one way or the other today whether he will be or not. But, he's out for months for sure, which we already knew. So, yeah, I guess that's the update. And then Monday night, I'm sure they'll explain what they're going to do with the world title, and they'll explain what they're going to do with Saturday Night's Main Event. I mean, they did not announce any matches for Saturday Night's Main Event because they were going to build the show in San Jose on Friday night, was going to build for Drew and Jacob Fatu in the Saturday Night's Main Event, which was then to be the number one contenders match. But Jacob is having dental work done, so he's going to be out for a while. It's not going to be a long time. My impression was it'd be before the end of the year, but it probably missing War Games. That's another person out of War Games. The War Games is freaking jinxed. It's just jinxed. I don't know what they're going to end up doing, but yeah. So so Jacob's out. Rhea Ripley broke her nose in Japan. I don't know exactly the circumstances were. I just know she broke her nose. Her face looked like hell. Coming back, and she did that. It was an orbital for the last time, right? Remember when she was hurt for a while?
I think it was orbital bone.
Yeah, so she's had her shoulders. She's had a lot of bad luck when it comes to injuries. So, yeah, it hurts her momentum. So she was going to be in War Games. So who knows what's going to happen from there.
All right, let's see on the list here. AJ Styles.
Yeah, on today's show in Tokyo, AJ Styles, it was basically the show was over, or whatever his match was over, I should say. It was, and Nakamura came out, and AJ did a promo, and Nakamura translated it. It was basically the Ivar and some other guys held him up on the shoulder. It was basically the AJ Styles farewell to Japan, because obviously he had a couple of years in New Japan that really made his career in a lot of ways. They took him from essentially like, a TNA guy who, I mean, now in revised history, he was Mr. TNA, but when he was in TNA, he was never Mr. TNA. But when he was in New Japan, he was IWGP champion. He was the number one foreign guy the entire run that he was there, and really turned his career around. And he, went to WWE as an immediate giant star. When they didn't see him as a giant star, but he became a big star because the fans reacted to him. Like it was a really big deal when he arrived, and not just that 1 week pop, but it stayed that way. So anyway, Japan's very, very important to him, and so they did the ceremony in the ring for him. So I guess the deal is that when they go back to Japan next year, they expect him to be retired.
What about Nakamura?
Nakamura on the first night in Tokyo, he was doing some Tanahashi mannerisms. So there's been a lot of talk about Tanahashi and Nakamura at the Tokyo Dome show, and I would just say it's not a done deal right now. Could it happen? I mean, Nakamura has in his contract he can do stuff in Japan. That was part of the deal that he signed. So it's a weird political thing, because obviously, New Japan and AEW work very closely together, and Nakamura's a WWE guy, and they haven't had a WWE guy. I mean, I guess technically they had Carl Anderson when he was WWE guy. They dropped the never title. But that was a lot of very, very difficult negotiations that gave everyone headaches and everything. But the thing is like, I mean, my gut is that, and I could be dead wrong, even though, you know, WWE and AEW are feuding and, you know, all the stuff that WWE does to AEW constantly, I do think that they may, you know, that Tony Khan, I don't know, people are going like, oh, he's going to get really mad, and I don't know. Like, maybe he will, but I don't think so. I just think it's Tanahashi's retirement, and whatever, if Tanahashi wants to retire against Nakamura, and they can pull that off, I think it should be okay. So, you know, that's basically the deal there. Should also bring up Andrade. So, you know, I mean, I think people know that Andrade's contract, I mean, standard in the WWE contracts. I don't know that everyone has it, but standard in the contracts that if you were fired for
Everybody
fraud,
has it.
yeah.
Unless it might be a Brock Lesnar who got it out of there, but it is a standard thing in all the contracts and has been for years and years and years.
Yeah, there may be some people who don't have that in there, but it is standard in the contracts. And he certainly had it in there that if you're fired for just cause, they can hold you for a year, and you know, whatever, you know, I would say I don't anticipate it being a year, but you know, it's not gonna be a week either.
Rikishi.
Yeah, I think that he's having emergency surgery. So best wishes to him.
Yeah, best wishes to him, of course. And you had some in the update about Nakanishi. He's skinny?
Oh my God, Manabu Nakanishi. You see pictures of Manabu Nakanishi?
I didn't. I looked all over for it. Couldn't find it. Where did you see this?
They did an interview with him. You would never recognize him. I mean, he's lost like 70 pounds. He looks like he's lost 100. And he just looks like, he looks like he's aged 35 years since the last time you saw him 2 years ago. Just got very, very old. Something has happened to where I don't know if he can't taste his food, but it's one of these things where he can eat food, but it is not enjoyable. And this is a guy who, you know, he was famous for how much he ate. You know, you ever heard of the Nakanishi breakfast? It's like everything, just like these giant amounts of food. You know, I mean, that's just what he was known for. So, man, there's something very, you know, very wrong with him, unfortunately. So, anyway, yeah, they said, I think that they lost 66 pounds, but he looked to me like he lost even more than that. I mean, from his peak weight, because 66 pounds would be, you know, he was probably 265, I'm going to guess, that I can, you know, when he retired. So that'd be 202, and he doesn't look 202. He looks a lot lighter than that.
All right, Arena Mexico.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but, you know, obviously Mercedes and Persephone was the main event, and I heard she got over really big. So it was an all-women show, and they had a good advance. I did watch the end, so they put her on last, which was, I think, the smart thing to do, but I saw the Skydie and, what was it, India Souks. I was called India Sioux because that was the Sioux Indians as I grew up, but the announcers were very clear, India Souks. And it didn't look like a crowd like the normal size for you know, the last, you know, year plus or anything like that. But and I didn't really expect it to be. But yeah, so Mercedes retained her title against Persephone, and I'm not sure when she's going back. They got the Grand Prix coming up this week, so a lot of AEW talent going to be women talent will be on and international talent from England and other places will be on the Arena Mexico show this coming Friday night.
All right, ratings.
Okay, so I guess like if you figure in, that all these shows are probably down 15% from what they would have been, and 30% in 1849. I'd say NXT did pretty well. They did 690,000 in 0.12. But the 18, it's like, it continues to be, the 1834 number is just ridiculously small. I mean, like for NXT, it was 38,000, and it's just like, that's just, it's you can't buy it. It's just, whatever. So, I mean, probably they would have done, close to 800,000, and, probably like about 0.16, 0.17. I mean, that's a pretty darn good number, very high number in over 50s, obviously. And of course, very high with men, of course, which is the thing with NXT. So they did, I thought that number was pretty good. It was Women's Battle Royal and everything like that. So then AW had the 3-hour thing, and that was good too. I mean, it's like, when you on a normal thing, when you go 534,000, 0.11 by the old standard, yeah, it's not a good number at all. By today's standard, it's, especially when you consider both shows went against baseball playoffs and everything, and the new television season as well is just starting this week or whatever last week. So it's like it's pretty impressive for both. I think it was a good sign. The AEW number from the last time they were on the regular time slot, they were way up. In across the board, they were way up. And Collision in the third hour, as far as the demo went, they were both 0.11, so it's 400,000 0.11. So they lost older viewers, but they didn't lose. They didn't lose 1849 viewers at all from 10 to 11, which is very impressive, actually, that they kept the viewership. I know the Overrun did not do great, because they went. The Overrun's like after 11 already, so that that isn't necessarily going to do great. But compared to when the Overrun's after 10, so I think both. By the standards of what we got right now, I think all those shows did well. Obviously, Raw, for Monday we'll have that on Tuesday, and that one, that's the Australia show, so there's a good chance that may not do so well. And obviously SmackDown, SmackDown didn't do well, but also had, SmackDown had a lot of competition. Friday nights is very, very tough. Friday and Saturday nights, very, very tough. Right now, with baseball playoffs, college football, baseball, and there's other sports that are going on as well. But those two in particular are going to be real tough.
And Brendan Allen.
Yeah, so today's UFC was Brendan Allen and Rainer de Ridder. And, Rainer de Ridder, after the win over Bo Nickel, people were talking about him as getting a championship shot at Chimaev. And that's not going to happen because Brendan Allen, who came in as a replacement 4 weeks out, he took it to him, and I guess Rainer de Ridder got really, really tired, and after round 4, he just couldn't go, and he did not answer the bell for the final round, and Brendan Allen scored a major upset, and that seems to mean that Dricus du Plessis will be defending against Nasruddin Imavov instead of Rainer de Ridder. So that was today's main event.
All right, I've seen now this picture of Nakanishi, and he just says here in this. I was watching this interview while you were talking about the ratings. He's basically saying that he says he's dieting. That's what he claimed. And he said he's down to 90 kilograms.
It's 198.
Should be about 198. And he just kind of indicated that, like, when I wrestled, I used to eat a lot, and now I'm trimming down. I'll watch more of it later on, but he didn't mention anything about not being able to taste anything. So maybe I haven't gotten to that part yet. All right, the SmackDown. We got a couple of notes from SmackDown here. There are a couple things that you really should see, the most notable of which is Sami comes out for the Open Challenge, and it is accepted by the returning Ilya Dragunov. And I thought this match was freaking awesome. I thought it was so good.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Very rarely, I mean, you got to talk about like Kenny Omega, and I mean, there are not many others that come back after all this time off and look as good as Ilya Dragunov did. He was great in this match. Sammy
Dragunov, his selling is fantastic. He's one of the best in the business at selling, and just the facials, and he allows himself to get beat up bad, but even when he's not getting beat up bad for real, he sells so great, so you think he is. I mean, he's also put on some weight, too. Looks like he put on about 10, 15 pounds in the time that he was off. He'd had knee surgery, torn ACL, I believe, and won the title first night in.
Yeah, man, they're having this awesome match.
He sells so great, so you think he is. I mean, he's also put on some weight, too. Looks like he put on about 10, 15 pounds in the time that he was off. He'd had knee surgery, torn ACL, I believe, and won the title first night in.
Yeah, man, they're having this awesome match, and finally they do the big spot where he goes for the H-bomb, but Sammy boots him out of midair, grabs him, hits the Blue Thunder Bomb, which Sammy's won every match with as the U.S. champion. And Ilya kicked out, and this place went wild. They're chanting, holy shit, they're going crazy. Sammy goes for the kick in the corner, but Solo comes out. Sammy screams at him. So Ilya charges, but Sammy avoids it. Hits the exploder in the corner. Tries the kick one more time. Ilya hits a torpedo out of midair, and then hits the H-bomb and wins the title. I just thought it was awesome. Just a great, great match. And afterwards, they did a segment with Phoenix coming down to make the save. He gets murdered. And then Solo cuts a promo. The lights go out. The Wyatts appear. And we have a Wyatts versus MFT stare down. And apparently that match is coming. Can't say I'm super excited for that one, but
the crowd was they were super into that in Perth, too. I mean, they did the same angle in Perth, basically. And, I think that they're trying to do, if you remember years and years and years ago, the original Wyatt family and the Shield had their stare down. And the place just went nuts, like way more than they should have, because at the time, even though the Shield were top guys, the Wyatts were not top guys. They were more middle. But the crowd just liked it, and the same thing here in the sense that, the NFTs aren't quite top guys, but they're not far from it, and the Wyatts are tag team champions, but they're still, to me, like this Wyatts, they're kind of like just this novelty act more than anything else. But when they were, the crowd just very into this confrontation. So, it's a good way to go. It's working. The people are very, very excited about that.
And then we had Solrook and Zarya versus Charlotte and Alexa, which Charlotte and Alexa won when Sol Ruka actually tapped out to the figure eight. And I thought Sol and Zarya did a very good job in this match. Sol's
going to be a superstar.
She's going to be a huge star.
Yeah,
huge
star. Superstar. She's got it. She's definitely got it. Yeah, she worked well with Charlotte Flair. So yeah, that was good. Zarya's good too. She's got a lot of poise for her, level of experience and everything. She's pretty good.
We had a segment with Tiffany backstage, and Kiana walks up, and apparently they're doing a match next week.
Yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garzas was a good solid match,
Zero heat.
It did not have any heat. That is true.
I mean, the crowd was just dead for it. I mean, wrestling-wise, actually, I thought the wrestling was quite good.
Yes.
But like an 8-minute match, I think, and just the crowd didn't really get into it.
They pinned Angel with a skull and bones, and then Fraxum appears on the big screen, and then DIY. So it looks like we're just kind of going back to where we were like 2 months ago, where we have all these great teams, and they all just wrestle each other, and they all just beat each other, and no one really sticks out. Which hopefully that changes, but that's where it was for a while there. So they hit Jacob Fatu's music for the main event, but there's no Jacob. So they rush backstage, and he's laid out underneath some metal gimmick, and on the ground by his face are blood and teeth. And so they go to commercial, they come back, he's spitting out teeth. So this is the angle to get him out for his dental surgery. And then Drew starts heading to the ring. He wants him to count this guy out. But Cody storms out in his street clothes. He's wearing slacks, and he's wearing a button-up shirt, and he's wearing dress shoes. And
He's wearing he's wearing an overcoat, and it was like in the 80s. Like he came out at, like right after 5 o'clock, and he's got this overcoat, and it's like, it looked like he was in like Minneapolis or something. It's like, you're in San Jose. It's freaking super hot. It was a super hot day. And why you would be dressed like that, God only knows.
Well, he said if Drew wanted a title match, let's do it right here, right now. This brawl breaks out. They go to commercial, they come back, and they're doing Drew McIntyre versus Cody in his street clothes. None of the announcers have any idea whether this is a title match. They're all asking each other, like, is the title on the line? I don't know. I'll ask the truck. Does anyone know if the title's on the line? So we never found out if the title was on the line.
They certainly didn't announce it as a championship match.
They did or they didn't?
They did not.
They did not, okay. So Cody is tough, because we didn't see that because it was during a break. They start brawling, they go to break, they come back, and the match is going on. So they have a wild brawl. It's actually a very good brawl. And then Cody's...
It was a nice brawl, but they just didn't have time. I mean, that show was running out of time.
Yeah, Cody's tossed in the timekeeper's area, and then he grabs the belt, and he hits Drew for the DQ. So... He did get booed. It was weird.
The people booed when he hit him with the belt. Well, they booed because they wanted to see... number one, they wanted to see a longer match, but time was running out. So, but... people aren't looking at their watches and going, oh my God, it's 6:58. The show's ending right now. So they didn't want that finish, and also it's like he just hits him with a belt shot. I mean, that's what a heel does when they're about to lose.
Yes.
It's a
baffling finish.
So it's like, I mean, it wasn't like Drew brought the belt in the ring and he tries to hit him and he ducks. He grabs the belt and hits him. It's like he just grabs the belt and hits the guy. So yeah, it was just a weird